So, my friends, welcome to a new XRP Ripple update video. It's Friday, so it's time to take a look at the chart. We're currently trading at $2.10, and yesterday, yes, we saw a bigger sell-off in the short term. Not just because very little is happening at the moment anyway, since Bitcoin is moving sideways and the altcoins are starting to weaken a bit again. Here, it dropped about 7% after we had this massive pump again, which we've seen across the entire market lately, with recoveries happening everywhere, but now things have gone down a bit again. What impact this has, and what the reasons behind it are, you will definitely find out in today's update video. But before we get started, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course feel free to join the free Telegram talk and Signal group. If you want to stay up to date with updates, news, and signals, then definitely join in. You'll find the link for that for free down in the video description. And if you want to buy, trade, or do anything else with XRP, you can do all of that on my partner exchange, Binjix. You'll also find the link for that down in the video description. By doing so, you support the channel, or rather, you support me. So, XRP at $2.10. As I said, we saw a global sell-off everywhere over the weekend after things escalated between Iran and Israel. We had a beautiful retest, as you can see down at $1.90, $1.91 on our trend line. All well and good. That means Ripple is still basically in a breakout scenario. Point number 2, after that, we had a recovery that actually doesn't look too bad. Anyone who watches the videos early in the morning knows I pay attention to the most recent highs we've broken here. So you see here, I'm just going to draw the line through here now. Those were the last high points. We held above them. We did get rejected at the 200 SMR, but we still held above it. Point number 1. Point number 2, the vectors here. Let's pull the FIB levels from our low to our high. Alright, there we go. From our low to our high, we almost hit the 0.5 level. Level reached. It would be really great if we could actually reach this level down here, because then we would have filled 50% of all the vectors for now. Plus, we would have another retest of a former supply zone here. That's down here. Let me just quickly move this over here. That would be the former supply zone. We could retest it again and would also have support here, allowing us to continue the move upward. But what actually caused this sell-off, which we haven't seen with many other altcoins? It was this news yesterday. Judge Torres rejects the settlement between Ripple and the SEC. Proceedings will continue. It's really a never-ending story between Ripple and the SEC. In the ongoing legal dispute between Ripple Labs and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, Judge Annalisa Torres has made a surprising decision. The settlement proposed by both parties, which included a reduction of the penalty to $50 million, was rejected. This means the proceedings will move on to the next round. Somehow, it always feels to me like someone wants Ripple to stay in the conversation non-stop, always up against the SEC, and this and that and this and that. The main thing is, we always have something to talk about when it comes to Ripple. That's really how it seems to me, because at this point, it's starting to feel unnecessary. So, yeah, Ripple, and I bet you, as soon as this case is off the table or it's no longer being rejected, we'll see a huge, fat candle again, something like that, and then nothing really happens. And then, yeah, SEC, and then it drops again. Just like always, whenever there was some SEC news, even though the case has supposedly been settled for the 100,000th time, it'll probably play out the same way here again. Specifically, the judge criticized that a final verdict can't simply be overwritten by a private settlement between the parties involved. A legally binding verdict sets a precedent and serves the public interest. She's basically right about that. That's why such verdicts can't be overturned without a compelling reason or without following clearly defined legal standards. Ripple and the SEC's arguments on this point remain too vague and insufficiently substantiated. She just seems to have a problem with it, and apparently, judging by other articles, not really a Trump fan or crypto-friendly either. Not obvious at all, right? But alright, that shouldn't stop us. That's definitely one of the main reasons why things took a sharper dip downward yesterday. But as I said, we're still in very good territory everywhere, at least with Ripple. If today's numbers, which are coming out at 2:30 p.m., that is, the PCE price index. If these numbers turn out positive for us, we can probably expect earlier rate cuts, or at least rate cuts. And that could really push the entire altcoin market up, provided we're still in this price range by then. And I'm talking about XRP, I'm talking about Cardano, about all of them. And as I said at the beginning of the video, XRP still has very, very strong support. It really held up well. This zone was important. We also really filled the inefficiency here and almost even reached our demand zone on the side. That would have been textbook perfect, but even so, this is still acceptable. All that's missing now is that impulse. As long as we keep consolidating here, all that's missing is that upward impulse. So, think about how you're going to trade this, or rather, pay attention to it, especially today at 2:30. That's the most important thing for me. If the numbers turn out to be crap, then that's really not good. But alright, different topic. Let's see what comes of it. Otherwise, the 4-hour chart doesn't look too bad either. If we get back in here again, that would be great. Otherwise, the target is again 233 up to resistance at 238. And only if we break through that, then I'll probably be extremely bullish on Ripple, because just for completeness, the FIB level from our low, from our high to our low, you can also see, the golden pocket is right here. So if we get above that, then the next step is 270, 275, and then we'd finally have our altcoin season. Let's see what happens. Feel free to share your opinions in the comments. Otherwise, I'd say that's it from my side. I wish you a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the weather. Don't spend too much time in front of the charts. It doesn't really help that much. And otherwise, I'd say leave a like, subscribe, join the Telegram group, and we'll catch up in the next video. Until then, ciao, ciao, and as always, stay crypto.